Hi there. I'm just giving a quick update since the thunderstorms and the rain from last weekend. Uh, and everything looked pretty dire. And it looked like everything was dying. But actually, it's doing fine. The 10-day forecast said, like, oh, you're gonna have like thunderstorms for 10 days. Well, that didn't happen. It lasted about 4 or 5 days, and then it was all sunny for the past week, pretty much, actually. And so the plants got plenty of rain, and they really like the sun, and they have plenty of water. So I haven't watered any of my plants yet since I put them in and water them in. Of course, you need to provide water when you plant your plants, just to make sure that the roots make good contact with the ground, etc. Um, and that they have enough water to get started. But look at these sunflowers. I think last week they were, I don't know. So the fence is about 4 foot tall. So last week they were maybe 3/4 of the way, and now they're getting above it. At least these tall ones. So they're growing like a foot a week or something like that. And then even the smaller ones, they're now where the big ones were last week. They're like 3/4 of the way, like 3 feet tall. And over there's some smaller ones. They're about to get halfway, or they are halfway, but not tall enough to tie them up yet because I'm just waiting a little bit for them to grow a little bit taller so I can tie them halfway, and then I tie them again when they get all the way to the top. And even the ones over here getting about halfway. Oh, they need a little bit of time too. And of course, I had that big branch come down, and I chopped it up, and I said I would make some wood chips, and so I did. Here's a big bucket of wood chips that I have left over. I had another one of those, same size, a little bit fuller, that I put with the tomatoes and the peppers that I will show in a little bit. But I took some out of this one, and I put them in these domes that come with the seed trays. I don't like to use these domes because when I did, you plant your seeds and you put these domes over it to increase the humidity and get it hotter and everything. But then I got so much fungus on all my seed trays. Even before anything comes up, the first thing that comes up are or like mold and fungus and whatnot. So I left those off this year. And now I'm drying some wood chips in them. I have no idea if this is actually good for smoking meat and like using it in the barbecue, but I'm just trying things. And but what I can tell is that in this thing it won't dry, and because it just came down like a week ago, so the wood must be wet. And if I just dig it down a little bit, yeah, that looks pretty wet. So if I just keep it in this bucket, then it's just gonna compost and everything by itself, probably. And now we're looking at some cucumbers. I think they're pretty awesome too. They're like 3 feet tall, or in freedom units. So I guess that's close to a meter, 90 centimeters or something. Pretty much all of them start flowers. Let's see. Let's make sure that basically this is my dog's toilet, so let's make sure that I don't step into something. They're mostly male flowers. Oh, look there. Female flowers starting. How you can recognize a male and a female flower? The male flower doesn't have anything behind it, and the female flower has like a tiny little fruit behind it. So if we get a little bee or something that goes to a male flower and then to a female flower, then we'll have a cucumber there. So that's awesome. I saw male flowers only at first, but yeah, it seemed to be doing pretty well. Actually, let's see if there's more male flowers or female flowers. We don't care about males. We care about the females. Oh, look, there's another one. It has a little cucumber behind it. So if a pollinator comes here, it will go to male flower first, like one of these guys, and then we'll go there. Then we'll have a cucumber. And if it doesn't, then this just shrivels up and dies. Okay. Oh, here's the volunteer tomato from the tomato bed. So this is one from last year. It's probably a cherry tomato because a bunch of them drops on the floor or on the ground. So let's see. Oh, I didn't see this yet. We have a tomato. The first tomato of the season. That's fucking awesome. Okay, so I need to start paying a little bit more attention to these tomatoes. What you can do, so by natural pollination, just by bees and insects and everything. It's not just bees, it's everything. By natural pollination, you'll get about 20% of your flowers that will work, that will actually grow fruit. But if you want to increase your fruit set, you can just gently tap the flowers, because these flowers on tomatoes and on most plants actually work a little bit different. So the cucumbers have male and female flowers, so you really need to go from one to the other to actually get fruit. And some people actually go and take like a Q-tip and stir it around in the male flowers and stir it around in the female flowers. But even if I don't do that, then I already get too many cucumbers, so I'm not even gonna bother with that. But tomatoes, like most other plants, have male and female parts in each flower. So all that needs to happen is the pollen needs to just drop. So what you can do, let's see, you can just tap this for a couple of seconds, and then that should be fine. Didn't really touch this one. These haven't really opened yet, so it's a little bit too early. But when they're open, that should be fine. When they're open, yeah, you can really help your pollination rate. The first year that I grew some tomatoes on the left bed right there, I only had like about 20% or less, maybe 10% because it doesn't get that much sun. And I didn't have a lot of other stuff like flowers and herbs and stuff. So the first year, the pollination rate was really low. But then the next year, I learned from Emma Gardner that you can actually gently, you can manually pollinate. And I didn't, there are a bunch of ways you can do this. You can do it with Q-tips and go flower by flower, but I was like, no, that's too much work. I tried to be like a low maintenance gardener. And another way to do it is to just gently tap like the little branch, and I'm okay with that. Well, some people say that you should do that for like a minute per flower, but I'm like, no, I'm just going to do the whole bunch at once for like 5 or 10 seconds, and and last year I had like instead of 20% germination, I had like 80%. So it really does work. It's worth trying. So let's see what else do we have. Do we have some male or female flowers or something? I don't see anything here. This marigold is getting huge. That's awesome. It's gonna set a lot of flowers, gonna attract a lot of pollinators. I don't see. Oh, there's one. Yeah, that's a female flower. Oh, here we have another one, another tomato. It's probably cherry tomato. Let's just. Oh, did one of the flower thingies just come off? Just tap it a little bit, couple seconds. It's fine. There. Grow tomatoes. Now, let's see. What do we have here? Not much. I don't see any female flowers. I just see male flowers. Oh! No. Wait. There's one there. There's a female flower. Focus? Yeah. Good. Focus here. Yeah, good. There's a female flower. That will turn into a cucumber if it gets pollinated. So, you want flowers in your garden. Oops. Now I'm going into dog toilet territory. So I have to be a little bit careful. I see mostly male flowers. Usually you mostly see male flowers and then the female flowers will start showing up. I don't see any female flowers on this yet, but I'm not looking really well. Only a week ago, this looked really sad. Now so yeah, it's getting warm, so the lettuce and the radishes are starting to bolt. We pulled some out, we cut some back, and we're letting some go again to attract pollinators. Flowers, well, okay, I need to do some weeding, I know, but I had sown some lettuce here, but it hasn't come up. So the tricky part is if you when stuff sprouts, you don't know what is what because it all looks the same. The first leaves pretty much look the same on everything. So I didn't want to pull anything out because I was like, oh, maybe it's the thing that I seeded. But now I'm getting more convinced that um, it pretty much didn't come up. So I can weed all of this. There's the chamomile. Just looking pretty good, and I'm hoping this will bush out and grow a lot of flowers, maybe make some tea out of it or something. And in between these two rows there were poppies, but I think they just got lost in the thunderstorms and the rains and just died because they look really fragile. Here's some zucchinis. I don't see any flowers yet, but these are going to be flowers, and these look to be male flowers. Just like on the cucumbers, these are going to be male flowers. Same here. There's some flowers forming, but those are going to be male flowers. And then shortly after, like maybe a week or so, we'll get some female flowers, and then we can actually grow some fruit. Here, this looks even messier because I tried to grow some flowers here. So those are the zinnias. I don't know what this is. A zinnia and something else. And those are the nasturtiums. But one of those seed packs was like cast the seeds and then gently move them into the ground. And then I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. If that's if they should be, you know, seeded pretty shallow, then that's what I should do. The problem with that, again, is once something comes up, you don't know if it's like a weed or whatever you're growing. So I'm not really a fan of casting seeds. I prefer, if I just grow it on a row and I put a stick in, it's like, hey, this is the row where I grew something. Then at least I know, like, oh, if it's on this row, then I shouldn't weed it. But everything in between, I can weed. So that's what I'm going to do next year. I'm not gonna do any decorative flowers, just casting seeds. Oh, here, look here, tomatoes. They're looking so good. They were below the string last week, I think, or just getting there. But now they're like twice as tall. So, and as you can also see, I used some of the wood chips from the fallen branch to mulch the tomatoes and the peppers. And they're getting super tall. They're looking super happy, super green. It looks like they're putting out new leaves like almost every day. And some of these were like super sad and on the ground like just a week ago. But now they're like super green, super tall, super happy. So it's going well. On the downside, it means I have a lot of pruning to do once they grow bigger, because they will grow like 6 to 8 feet tall or something. So I have to keep them out of each other's space. Let's see, well, we have the peppers. Yeah, those were doing fine. Oh yeah, here there's, I don't know if I planted those last week yet. These are some eggplants. Have a little holes in them, but see. Okay, doing well, doing well, doing well, doing well. Some of these didn't look so well last week. And then these two. Oh yeah, these two, the stems broke. Let's see. Yeah, stem broke on this one. And so the old growth is dying. But it's starting all these side branches and side leaves. And I think the same is happening here. This is all dying, this part, but it's starting new growth right here. So it may survive, doesn't have to. These guys are getting pretty close to the wire. These are doing pretty well. This one's, yeah, a little bit behind, and this one was super sad last week, and it was flat on the ground, so surprised it came back. So let's see. Oh, let's give a little attention to the beans, because they're the only ones left out. They're pretty bushy because they're bush beans, and there are a ton of flowers on these. It's awesome. I hope we'll get a bunch of beans. We'll see. We'll see if we get them before the squirrels. But yeah, it's nice. I already had the seeds, so I'm just filling up space. Okay, cool. That seems to be the update for this week, or last week, because it's been a week since I posted anything. So thanks, and see you next week.